Hey friend, let's get philosophical about bags. This is from Mission Workshop, made in America bags, spare no expense, best of the best materials. Their first bag was the Vandal, which expands ridiculously. They also make the Rake, which has incredible pocketing. And this is their first panel loader bag. Opens clamshell, lots of capacity, large and organized admin pocket here with tons of beautiful stretch mesh. Uber protected laptop pocket with a nice almost like neoprene sort of mesh padding all around, pulled off the bottom of the bag. Super cozy back panel with this air mesh on the straps as well as the back panel and a luggage pass-through. And their patent pending land speeder modular setup, which makes it super quick to attach accessories on both sides of the bag. I've got several accessories to show you there. I've got lots to say about this bag. So why don't you stroke your beard, sip your coffee, and let's get philosophical about carry. But first, this bag video is brought to you by Studio Neat, who makes the Mark I pen. Still the most enjoyable writing experience of my life. Utterly minimal, simple, lovely. It's slightly better than everything you've ever used. And now it's available with a clip. Having the clip means it doesn't roll off the table. It's minimal, slightly textured. It's built around the world's best pen refill, and it's got a completely metal click mechanism, which they designed from scratch. So it feels and sounds great, but it's also gonna last longer than you will. Get yourself a pen that feels better to write with, but also like your kids are gonna fight over it when you're dead. If there's a discount that I have for you, it'll be in the link in the description below, and first pinned comment too. If I forget to pin the comment, will you remind me? Okay. One of the things I love about this bag is that its look is simple and utilitarian, right? It's just like a boxy, it's a baggy sort of box, but it's a box. It's got plenty of organization. The durability's off the charts. We're gonna get into all of that. But I love that it's so useful across a number of different modes of carry. Large enough for minimal travel and decent enough as a day bag when you get there so that you don't have to bring two bags with you. If I was going to a retreat for a weekend, matterful.co/men, and I needed to bring clothes, laptop for the plane, journal, water bottle, things like that, this would be the perfect size for that like long weekend. If I was going to the beach or like a river day, right? A few towels from Nomadics that are small and sand resistant, a lunchbox or some snacks, maybe a little cooler pack that has some sparkles in it. If I left my house every day for quite a while and I was gonna hit work and the gym and maybe something after work, this is like the kind of size I would probably need to be in, where I'm bringing a couple pairs of clothes maybe a workout shoe, a whole like a kit for a workout, maybe lunches, all these sorts of things. It's like slightly larger than I want it to be for everyday carry. Look at this thing on me. I really hike up the straps. I just like it feeling like tight against me. But here's your size. And this is with basically nothing in it except for some things in the admin panels. You can see the structure of the material on this. It can bunch together or it can flop out on its own. That's a feature, not a bug. Because it doesn't do too much for me. Most of what it does is the capacity. Okay, just the right amount of capacity. Then it does the materials, what it's like to use on the regular. Then, by the way, let's look at this back panel where this just feels really juicy and good over time. You're just gonna like this. It just feels great. I do want a little bit more structure in this just for the hand grab. But once it's on, it feels great. It's almost like gel, you know? It feels really juicy. So it's simple enough is my first point. I love a baggy kind of box. My second point is it's durable AF. This is an X-Pack Challenge sailcloth material on the outside. On the inside, you have another Challenge sailcloth material that has a coating and ripstop thing going on here, more beefy and weatherproof than it needs to be. On the admin panel, you've got this delicious stretch mesh that's just sexy like panties. You've got a zipper up here. It's just more than it needs to be. You also have some capacity in this pocket here. You have like, you can see up here, you've got these little pulled in corners. Same down here. It just has, I don't know, maybe 2 inches of space inside that compartment. I love these high-end water-sealed zips. They move really well compared to other water-sealed zips. They're not going to delam in the same way. I don't know if you can see, but there's like a matte finish on these. They're paying extra for those things where a lot of bag companies wouldn't, but they spare kind of no expense on this. And it's American made. The durability you almost won't appreciate until you have that moment when you're at like a retreat or something, matterful.co/men, and you put it down, face down, on some grass somewhere, and maybe some weather comes and it drizzles, and you're not worried about it, your stuff's fine, you've just got like your lunch and a water bottle in there with the journal, and you pick it up, you just kind of go, and you're ready for business. Like you're ready, you could go anywhere with it again. It's so easy to keep clean. So what I'm getting at is there's a durability here, but there's also the use of something that's over-engineered enough without being precious, right? I get turned off by precious stuff, right? Where it just seems like we've baked in every feature. You know, what is it, Voltaire, who said, I would have written a shorter letter, but I didn't have time. There's a usability factor, a tactile factor in the materials that feels really good. A lot of that's the zipper pulls and the zippers, but it's also the structure in these panels, the double lining of that challenge sailcloth material. And you really notice that in the structure of this bag, which oftentimes stands up depending on how you have it packed, but doesn't always stand up. Another thing I really like is the aesthetics on the front panel. You've got a flop with a quick access, which I never use, but it's very easy to get in and out of because you just kind of have this one motion to get over that kind of rain flap. This arguably doesn't need to be there with that zipper. I feel like it's enough rain protection on a vertical plane. But I do feel like it gets us a little bit towards that almost school backpack thing. The other thing that's going on here is just this simple little Hypalon style thing. It has embossed Mission Workshop. I'm not sure if you can see this here, but it's a nice little detail. It just breaks up this front just enough. Otherwise, if it was just a flat panel, it would look just like a travel bag, which is not bad when you're traveling, but when you need a larger everyday carry bag, like you kind of want it to feel like a regular bag. And this does just, it's such a nice little, it has a nice little tiny, like tasteful way it does that. Let's talk about this land speeder system, which is, you can see here on both sides, we have one of these chunky chunks. Originally, I was kind of frustrated because I want that stretch mesh water bottle pocket. That's what I want. I want that built in. But then to do that plus the extensibility of being able to pick different accessories like this one, which has more depth, it's a bit bigger, it does have a stretchy bit inside, right? You could plop that over here. And they do make a water bottle compartment like this guy here, which has a little drawstring at the top. The land speeder, you have a firm tongue, let's call it, like this. Okay, this is like hard to bend. It's not plastic, it's some sort of fiber thing, but it feels as hard as plastic. That tongue goes all the way down to the bottom there. Then you have this Velcro flap, which goes on top of it. So comparing this to Molly or some other form of modular attachment thing, even their archive system, this is just super fast and then super robust because you're attached here and here, and then it's all along the side of the bag. Like it's not just a little bit here and a little bit there. It's the entire thing. This water bottle pocket works great, and you do have that cinch, so you could cinch your stuff down. To be frank, I haven't used it with that on there. I just haven't even messed with these things because I really like the look of it when there's nothing there. When there's nothing there. When it's just clean and easy. I prefer that look. Now, if I was traveling If I was packing this bag out a lot regularly, I prefer the look of this thing without those stuckers on it, right? But you still get this kind of like, you know, they made these bags with NASA. You get this a little bit lunar landing approach to things. So those land speeder accessories that they're selling right now, I believe this is everything that they're offering. The water bottle, they have a bigger pouch and then a thinner pouch. Inside the thinner pouch, you do have that stretch mesh as well as inside this bigger pouch. And just speaking of that stretch mesh, can I just show you this really quick? This is double layered. So it has, the top of this thing it's folded over. So it's like one piece that's folded over, and that is delightful. That feels designed and lovely in so many good ways. A lot of companies will put some piping on the top of a single layer, and I like the double layer. I just like it so much. Little pen clip here, a zippered stretchy meshy here, and then I use this pocket awful lot. This is where my power adapter and my journal, and I just throw everything into this guy, and I don't zip it up. Because then I can just pull one zip at the top and have access to that stuff. And just notice that, like, I'm using one hand. I gotta hold the bag from moving, but like, structure, density, materials. Like I said, it's a little bit larger than I want for my everyday carry, but I've been carrying it every day for, I don't know, like 3 weeks or something now. And what's incredible about it is that it has everything you need. And it's made in the USA. And they make incredible stuff with like a solid sort of guarantee. And you're voting with your dollar, supporting a company that has been around since forever. One of these guys started Chrome out of Boulder, Colorado, focusing on equipment and gear like shorts and stuff for the mountain biking world. And they keep that a lot alive in Mission Workshop as well. One of the guys in Mission Workshop was designing clothes, tactical clothes for like the Navy SEALs and all these all these groups that don't technically exist. So they make a bunch of really good clothing as well, but I've only stuck with their bags, and I have several of them. They all have a very particular point of view. This has a very particular point of view, and what's awesome about this is it's very civilian. It's not like the Vandal where it's made for bike messengers to expand and go like even though I have a Vandal, because I just can't, nothing expands like that. What if you win the super big teddy bear stuffed animal at the fair for your daughter because you just happen to be that good at knocking over those frickin' bottles, right? That's when you need the Vandal. All of their bags are really weather resistant and designed for that kind of intensity, which I don't think you or I get into very often, to be honest. But some of us do. And sometimes it's nice, you pay a little extra, and you have that one bag that you can do so many different modes of carry with. That's why this has been so interesting for me. This feels like an art installation about that from a company of wizards. So, shout out to Mission Workshop. Use my link below if you do purchase, if this was helpful for you. It supports the channel. Let's do a ramble. Feelings aren't true or false or right or wrong. They give you an experience of yourself, and then you can decide what to do. Feelings aren't right or wrong. They're not good or bad. You have a cognitive capacity in your mind. You can think things through, you can be logical, and you can rationalize, and you can do all this stuff. You have an emotional capacity. You have emotion that comes up that is not guided by the mind. You have a relationship between those two. You also have an intuitive capacity, but we won't talk about that right now. I was making the mistake of trusting in my emotions as if they were a message from God or my higher self, or they were true, or they were bad. I was having bad feelings. I'm bad. Your emotions are not good or bad. They are. They're there to give you an experience of what? Of yourself. So that you can what? So that you can decide how to move forward. Okay? And here's my last thing I'll say on this. If you watch your emotions, they will change. You don't have to force yourself upon your emotions cognitively to be like, why are you like this? Why are you fucking like this? That's not a good way. It's not gonna go well. If you spend time with your emotions and go the other way, right? Go like, hey, what is your deal, dude? Tell me all about it. You clearly had something going on. I want to know about it. I want to be a friend to you. There's no other game in town, right? You might be in your 20s, you don't know this yet. You might be mid 30s and you're starting to get this. There's no other option. You have no other game. There's no other game in town, right? But okay, what are you feeling? Like, what's going on? Being with the emotion. Byron Katie calls it loving what is. That is a massively enlightened perspective that begins a path of true transformation. So your feelings are not good, and they're not bad. They're not right, and they're not wrong. They're there for you to have an experience of yourself so that you can decide how to move forward. So stop judging yourself based on your feelings. Start getting curious about yourself, because the emotional world is one we haven't been mentored or prepared about how to navigate. Matterful.co/men. We are doing a retreat in October. Shout out to Mission Workshop. Shout out to Studio Neat. Love that they got a pen with a clicker on it now that has a clip. This Mark 1 is just perfect in the hand. Please use my link below. If there's a discount, it'll be on that link. Shout out to you for watching. What's your deal? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? This is like a long video. What do you got going on? Are you procrastinating? Be honest. Are you procrastinating? If you were procrastinating, would you want to know? I relate. I understand. I'm like that. Took me a long time to get into this studio and do this thing. But I love getting to talk with you. I love getting to hear from you. I want to hear where you're at. If you're in the comments, will you just say where you're at? Like, oh, I'm struggling with this or that. Maybe it's embarrassing to share or whatever. But I just want to know where you're at and what's going on. Because everyone you meet is in the fight of their lives. So be kind. That includes yourself. Find care, take care, serve hard, and dig in. Bye!